own bank and take your time while you're learning it. Where you about to be is not where you reside currently. We gon' teach you how to compound it while you're earning it. It's that new type of money, it's that new kingdom currency. Hey, first of all, let me tell you about the business. Mr. Jerry D. Rogers, he the one that had the vision. Educate and impact at least 2 million. Now it's 4 years later and we still on a mission. Yeah, we talking 2 million families, shifting their perspectives mentally and financially. How many of y'all like being broke? Never mind, don't answer me. But if money is your problem, then actually we got the answer key. Enroll, learn, and profit. It's simple, don't make it challenging. Shout out Miss Tasha Dyer for coming up with the strategy. Now I ain't saying it's easy, cause focus is something you have to be. It ain't no better feeling than setting your own salary. Hey, you can be your own bank and take your time while you're learning it. Where you about to be is not where you reside currently. We gon' teach you how to compound it.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. This is your very, very own certified basics educator, Evelyn Graham, the queen of the charts. And I am just so excited that you've all logged on already. Great seeing you all. Welcome to our Basics Live Trading Analysis call. And today is Wednesday. Indeed, we are midweek. And it is the 29th of March, 2023. As you log on, ladies and gentlemen, be so kind and drop your affirmations in the chat. Let us know the cities you're calling in from. And I would love to see those flags being raised very high of the countries that you represent.
Tap in to be your own bank, movement.com. Hey, you can be your own bank and take your time while you're learning it. Where you about to be is not where you reside currently. We gon' teach you how to compound it while you're earning it. It's that new type of money, that's a different type of currency. Hey, you can be your own bank and take your time while you're learning it. Where you about to be is not where you reside currently. We gon' teach you how to compound it while you're earning it. It's that new type of money, it's that new kingdom currency. Hey, you can be your own bank and take your time while you're learning it. Where you about to be is not where you reside currently. We gon' teach you how to compound it while you're earning it. It's that new type of money, it's that new kingdom currency.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to the call. And I see those affirmations. I see those flags as well. Welcome to our call. And I am happy to see you. So I see Stone Mountain, Georgia. Welcome to the call this morning. Milwaukee, you're here as well. Love to see the flags. Stone Mountain, Georgia, well represented already. Chattanooga, Tennessee, welcome to the call. And Texas, yes, keep those flags raising. Raise them high. And Toronto, Canada, welcome to the call. And Jacksonville, Florida, once again, we're here together again. Welcome to the call. And I love to see those affirmations and those flags. Once again, we are a worldwide movement. So we would like to see those flags being raised high. So ladies and gentlemen, we are midweek Wednesday. And it's going to be a win-win and wealthy Wednesday. So as we are going to progress on to the call this morning, we're going to have a look at our daily news from our BYOB Trading Academy. We're going to check the news out first. So I'm going to share that screen with you. I'm already sharing. I would hope so. So I'm sharing this screen with you, and I want you to follow through with our news this morning. So here we are.
Live from the world's capital markets, here are the latest financial headlines brought to you by BYOB Trading Academy.
Hello, and welcome to Wednesday's financial news. Stay with us for more market headlines.
Binance USD, a stable coin pegged to the US dollar, endured over $500 million in outflow in the roughly 24 hours since a US lawsuit was filed against Binance and CEO Changpeng Zhao, data shows. Tesla is bringing back its referral program to Europe, a strategy that taps into the brand loyalty of customers as it seeks to preserve market share and boost sales before the first quarter of 2023 closes. Energy stocks rallied alongside crude oil prices, helped by easing worries over the US banking sector and as Iraq was forced to stop some of its crude exports from Kurdistan region. The pound-dollar pair rose 0.3% in the last session. According to the Williams indicator, we are in an overbought market. The last session saw the Bitcoin rise 0.5% against the dollar. The ultimate oscillator is giving a positive signal. The last session saw the Aussie gain 0.7% against the dollar. The MACD is giving a positive signal. The dollar-yen pair corrected downwards in the last session, falling 0.2%. The RSI's negative signal is in line with the overall technical analysis. The US MBA mortgage applications will be released at 1100 hours GMT. The US EIA crude oil stocks change at 14:30 GMT. Germany's GfK Consumer Confidence Survey at 0600 hours GMT. The French Consumer Confidence will be released at 0645 GMT. Japan's foreign bond investment at 2350 GMT. Japan's foreign investment in Japan stocks at 2350 GMT.
We hope that you've enjoyed Wednesday's market outlook. On behalf of all of us here, we wish you a productive trading day. Be sure to join us tomorrow morning for the latest news and events from the financial markets.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there we have our daily news. I hope you would have taken some notes about what the day looks like ahead for us. And of course, we do continue to check those fundamentals. We go to our financial news sources. You should all by now be aware of what they are. We check 3 in the mornings because we do know that fundamentals move the market. Our daily news gives us a head up, what pairs, what to expect. And now for the My FX book, FX Street, and Forex Factory, those are financial news sources as well that we do check for those red folders. So as I move on, we're going to look at My FX book first. So this morning we had some red folders for Euro, and we had some news release medium impact for GBP earlier. And now at this time of the morning, we haven't had any heads up here for red folders. But what we do know is that we have medium impact, and that's for the US. But those red impacts, we haven't seen any. There is also speeches. And again, ladies and gentlemen, that can move the market. So we do look for those speeches. They are sometimes highlighted as low impact or medium impact, but be aware that speeches can move the market. So what we're seeing here is later on today, we have some speeches, Euro and CAD, between the hours of 12:30 and 12, which is noon Eastern Standard Time. We have speeches for Euro and CAD. Later, GBP, we have a speech there at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and one at 4:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yes, we have speeches later on today. What's FX Street showing? Let's see if we're getting anything on FX Street that we did not get on My FX book. A reason for checking more than one financial news source. In the event one doesn't highlight it as a high impact, another one might do so. So again, as I flick through, I do not see any red folders. We are, however, seeing a speech for CAD, which we are aware of. So we should have taken note of that speech for Canada. So we are aware of that. Forex Factory. So pretty much no red folders on FX Street for the rest of the day, based on what we're seeing there. And today again being Wednesday, the 29th of March, 2023. Wow, for Forex Factory, we are not seeing any red folders at all. So we are bare of red folders on Forex Factory. So please make a note that there is that speech that we are aware of for GBP. and for Canada, but no red folders. Ladies and gentlemen, no red folders. So what we do know is that those red folders, we get those high impact news releases, and they do have an impact on the market. And that's why we do look for them. We only trade after the news release. Once it's happened, we wait for the effect, and then we get into the market. Usually give it some time to settle and get a clear direction. This morning, however, we can't see those red folders, but what we can say is that they're speeches, and they too can move the market. Now that we've had a look at our daily news from our very own BYOB trading platform, we've looked at those fundamentals. We are going to go on to our chart using TradingView. And I think we all remember what we do before we jump on to the charts. Go ahead, put your TAGs in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let the mastermind team recognize how they've blessed us all, how appreciative we are, thankful, appreciative, and grateful for all that they have done. And of course, I'm going to be looking at the BYOB cash out strategy. I'm going to be doing an overview. And that overview helps us, especially if we're new to learning the skill set using the BYOB cash out strategy. It helps us to see how simple and easy the steps are to follow. Now, the overview also implies that it's a historical trade. It's one that has already played out. So we are looking at a trade that has already happened. And that way we can follow the steps. And now I'm going to share another screen with you. And that way now we can see NZD. That's the pair I'm going to be looking at. NZD, USD for a sell opportunity. So if you were on yesterday, we looked at a buy opportunity. Today, we're looking at a sell opportunity. That way, you get a nice balance between buy opportunities and sell opportunities. So today, Wednesday, we're looking at a sell opportunity on NZD USD. Here we go. To start analyzing a currency pair or any asset, we start on our 15-minute time frame. So 15 minutes time frame is our time frame of analysis, and it's 3 indicators that we need to look at, and that is 1, our stochastic, which is our leading indicator. Secondly, we have another indicator that we look at as well. That is our candles. We use those trending candles. We call them the Hikinachi candles. And we also check out the other indicator, which is those dots that you see at the top. We call them our PSAR. So we look for 3 indicators, and we make sure they are in alignment on our 15 minutes time frame, which is our time frame for analysis. Okay, so for our stochastic, it is housed at the bottom of our TradingView chart. It's right here at the bottom. And what you can see is we have some numbers from 0 to 100. You can see it runs along there. And if we're looking for a sell opportunity, then of course, we look at the top of this purple shaded area. So we tend to look for the top. The 80 marker tells us that we are at the top. So for a sell, we say when we are at the top, we expect to see price move downwards when we are at the top. So you've noticed I've said top. So when we're at the top, we look to see price move downwards. Now, our second indicator that I'll be looking at is the candles. So my stochastic is my leading indicator. My candle that I'll be looking at next, or candles, is a lagging indicator. So again, on the 15-minute time frame, my time frame of analysis, we must see a red candle with a flat top. it must have a flat top. And then on top of that flat top red candle, we must have that dot, which we call the PSAR. So it's at the top of that flat top red candle. So if we say top, 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 it should make it easy for you to remember. So we look at our stochastic first, which is our leading indicator. And we like when we start at the top, which is around that 80 marker. So we're at the top, and the blue line needs to push below the red line, pointing downwards. Blue line needs to be below the red line, pointing downwards. We must see a red candle with a flat top. And we must have the PSAR at the top of the flat top red candle. Hence, we hear top, top, top when we're looking for a sell opportunity. It's time for me to use an arrow to mark where we are in this market. And I'm going to be choosing an arrow mark down as we see price move downwards. This is a trade that has already played out. So we're on the 15-minute time frame. As you can see, my vertical broken line has now allowed you to see that I have all these three indicators in alignment. And now we can move on to a bigger time frame. And that time frame is our 1 hour time frame. It's our time frame of confluence or agreement. So I'm going to click on 1 hour time frame right there. Once again, this is the same market. We're just looking at it from a different viewpoint. What are we able to see? Well, what we need to be seeing is that our stochastic, our leading indicator, should be the first indicator that we look at. Because, again, as the name suggests, it is our lead-in indicator. What should you be seeing? You should be seeing that blue line pointing below that red line, pointing downwards in a downward direction as price moves down. Also, you need to see a red candle. Now, we only need 2 indicators on this time frame. Only 2 out of the 3 that we would have seen on the 15-minute time frame, which is our time frame of analysis. On our time frame of confluence, the 1 hour, we only need 2 indicators. Once again, our stochastic, our leading indicator. And secondly, we look for the candle. It needs to be red. We do not have to have a flat top, red candle, or the PSAR at the top. However, if we do, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. So now that we have 2 indicators in alignment on the 1 hour time frame, it's time to move to another time frame, a smaller time frame, and that's the 5-minute time frame, and it's called our time frame of entry. So I've just clicked on it. There we are. What are you able to see? Once again, you must default your eyes to the stochastic because it's our leading indicator. And the blue line needs to be below the red line, pointing downwards. And just to make mention, ladies and gentlemen, the 5-minute time frame is the only time frame where you're allowed to see that the lines are moving sideways. As long as the blue line is below the red line moving sideways, it is okay that the 5-minute time frame, your time frame of entry, it is okay that you can get into a trade with a stochastic blue below the red moving sideways. So as you can see here, the blue crossed below the red line and it was going sideways. It would have been able to be a good trade for you to get into. And of course, we need to have a red candle. Now, again, for those who are very, very new to trading, learning the skill set, wanting to master it, but at first, there could be some anxiety, we suggest you wait for a red candle that has a flat top. Usually, it is a smoother entry. And when you get into the trade, it's usually easier for you to see yourself moving in the direction that you are trading. So as you can see here, we are having a red candle with a flat top. We do not have to have the piece out at the top, but again, if we do, it's a good thing. So now you can see with my vertical broken line, where the yellow arrow is, blue line has crossed below the red line pointing downwards, and you can see a red candle, which has a flat top for those who are new to trading, and you would have been able to get into this trade and catch those pips. So you can see here, price continued to move down and down and down and down, and you would have been in this trade to catch all those pips. So ladies and gentlemen, that's how we analyze NZD USD using the BYOB cash out strategy. If you've been able to follow and you're understanding what we have just been through, then I want you to go ahead and put your 555 in the chat. Just to make a note as well, that the BYOB cash out strategy is a market strategy, and it is price action with a twist. Once again, it is my favorite strategy, and I think that's one strategy I will always be using. Very easy, simple to follow. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the BYOB cash out strategy. We have just done an overview. So thank you for putting it in the chat. It feels good to see that you're understanding the concept, the process. So at the end of the day, you too can trade live with me as we go live now at looking at some trades this morning. So we've just done the overview. It's time to go live in the market. This is what this call is about. This is exactly what this call is about. So I want to look at, there was some GBP news earlier, and I know they aren't red folders. They did come up as medium impact, but again, we can see what GBP has in store for us. So we're going to have a look at GBP AUD. That's the one I have in mind, GBP AUD. So we're going to look at that. We're going to pull it up. So let's see. Here we go, GBP AUD. So again, I'm on my trading view. I mean, it's a lovely watch list. It is a lovely watch list. You can create your very own watch list and put it in alphabetical order. So there I am, GBP AUD. I am on GBP AUD. So here we are. Okay, so I'm on GBP AUD, and I am going to be looking for a buy opportunity this morning. I'm going to be looking for a buy opportunity this morning. Now, let me just move this a little around a bit, because I want my pace setters to be very active this morning. I want you to be very active. So in order to analyze a trade, ladies and gentlemen, in order to analyze a trade this morning, where are we going to be starting? What's our starting point? Even if it wasn't GBP AUD, it could be any assets. It could be commodities. It could be anything. Where do we start our analysis? Drop it in the chat. We're trading together live in the market. The word together means it's more than one of us that will be trading live this morning. So go ahead and drop it in the chat. We need to be on our 15-minute time frame. So here we are, 15-minute time frame. Okay, there we are on our 15-minute time frame. So ladies and gentlemen, 15-minute time frame it is, our time frame of analysis. Just a gentle reminder, we do invite people from time to time onto the calls. So again, it's nice if you can say what the time frames represent. That way they can take their screenshots and they too can learn the BYOB cash out strategy. And it's because it's so easy, so simple to follow. So 15 minutes time frame is our time frame of analysis. I'm on my 15 minutes time frame. Ladies and gentlemen, what are we expecting here in terms of what do we look for? Once again, we must look at our stochastic first because it is our leading indicator. So for a buy opportunity, we should see our blue line push above the red line, pointing upwards. Okay, that's what we should see. And we're not seeing that because that blue line is slightly below the red line. So we know we're not ready because that's stochastic, our leading indicator, is not yet ready. We are seeing a green candle, which has a flat bottom, and the P's are at the bottom, but without the leading indicator going in the right direction, well, we have to wait. So we're quite happy to wait because what we do know is patience, profit. We now move on to our time frame of confluence. Correct. What time frame is that? It is indeed our 1 hour time frame. Our time frame of confluence is our 1 hour time frame. What are we looking for? So if your eyes are new to this platform, what are you looking for on your time frame of confluence, your time frame of agreement? What are you looking for? Stochastic, once again, is your leading indicator. Always default your eyes to our leading indicator, which is the stochastic. And we must see the blue line pointing above the red line, pointing upwards. Again, we must see a green candle. We do not have to have a flat bottom, and we do not have to have the PSAR at the bottom. But if we do, we quite like that. So we've given a name to this on this session, and that's a bonus. We call it a bonus. So having a flat bottom gives you an idea that we're seeing momentum to the upside, and with the PSAR at the bottom, the dot at the bottom, that tells you that we have additional confirmation. So ladies and gentlemen, we see that the 1 hour time frame looks good. At the moment, it looks good. But once again, remember the 15-minute time frame. We're waiting for stochastic. And even though the 1 hour looks good, we still have to move on to another time frame. So when I did the overview, I never went on to this bigger time frame. But it just means for those who are older, those who are now more mature, learning the skill set, you recognize the importance of looking at a bigger time frame, which gives us better direction, and that is our 4 hour time frame. Thank you for putting it in the chat. Okay, so are you seeing my screen? Someone wants to know if I'm sharing GBP/AUD. So if you can see my GBP/AUD screen, let me know. Someone dropped a 555. There's one person saying that they're not that sure. So I'll wait for 555. Okay, you are seeing my screen. So yes, I am sharing GBP/AUD with you. Can you see? Let me know when you can. Just drop that fire emoji if you are able to see, for that person who could not see. Let me know that you're now able to see, because I am sharing GBP/AUD with you. And yes, I'm going to be okay. I am going to be moving on to a bigger time frame. Okay, I'm moving on to a bigger time frame, and that's the 4 hour time frame. 4-hour time frame it is, our time frame of authority. So if you're not seeing the screen at this point, it means that you may need to make your screen bigger, or it could just be your device. Okay? Let me know when you can put a fire emoji in the chat. So on our 4-hour time frame, we are on our time frame, which is a bigger time frame. It gives you an indication that we are getting that direction on the bigger time frame. And as you know, our trade whisperer, we learned it to be the head of the house, or we know it to be time frame of authority. So now we are on our bigger time frame. We're going to sit on this for a little to make sure that we analyze for you to see why we're looking at GBP AUD for a potential buy opportunity. If you remembered earlier, we had some GBP news. I'm aware that it's not red folders, but you know, sometimes these medium impacts could actually impact the market as well. So here we are on the 4-hour time frame. Remember, we start with our stochastic, our leading indicator. We must see the blue line push above the red line, pointing upwards. So exactly, that's what I'm seeing. And it's nice, and it's opened up nicely. I like when it opens up like that. And then we have our green candle. That's all we need on the bigger time frames. The 1 hour, the 4 hour, we just need to see a green candle. However, we are seeing that this candle is not just a green candle. Like the previous candle had a wick at the bottom, this has a flat bottom. And even though it's not a must on the 4-hour time frame, what we can say is that having a flat bottom and on top of that some additional confirmation from the PSAR tells us that the likelihood is that we might be getting some movement to the upside. So on the 4-hour time frame, the GBP AUD, we are seeing a nice fat lovely green candle with a flat bottom, PSAR at the bottom, and most of all our stochastic is pointing up, blue above the red pointing upwards. So pretty much let's see where we were in the market. Okay, so on the 4-hour to begin with, anyone notices the trend on the 4-hour time frame? Anyone notices what trend we are in on this time frame? Drop it in the chat. We're learning this together. We're doing this together. What trend have we been in on this time frame? Yes, we're making a move to the upside. We're in an upward trend. So yes, we are in an upward trend. And of course, upward trend simply means we've been making a higher high. See that higher high? We've been making higher highs, making higher highs. And as you can see here, when we came to this higher high, here we've been making higher lows and a higher low and a higher low. And you can see stochastic pointing up, looking for us to make that move. But before we can jump into the trade, clearly we have been to this area before. We've been to this area before. And what you can see is that we came here and we saw where we were getting some rejection or resistance. We can see where we were getting some rejection right here, or what we call resistance. Okay? So we are mindful that we are at a point where we will not be jumping into this trade as yet. We need to make sure that we clear this area. We must clear this area. So we would not be jumping into the trade at this stage. We must clear this area because once again, you see that we came here a number of times and what happened is that we didn't break it. This lovely big candle might break it, but we need to make sure that the candle that breaks this, the body of the candle, breaks above, not the wick, but the body of the candle. And we need to see the candle form above. So we need to break above, the body of the candle needs to break above that zone. So we clearly need to wait a little longer on this trade. So again, as you know me by now, I'm quite happy to say I'm an intraday trader. So I trade between the zones. It's very important that you know what kind of trader you are. Some people are scalpers. Some people are intraday traders. Some people are swing traders. And some people just call themselves long-term traders. They're quite happy to wait weeks or a month or months to get their take profit. My personality, I'm afraid, I like to see my money in my account in a short time. That is probably well explained because as I had to work in a hospital in the UK, we had to get paid every month, once a month. Now, who wouldn't want to move away from once a month payment? So I quite like to see my money in my account at the end of the day, or even 2 days, or 3 days, but not long. Okay, so now you see why I'm an intraday trader and I like to see my money in my account. So I'm looking now at making sure you appreciate the fact that I'm an intraday trader trading between the zones. So I need you to help me recognize where my support and resistance lines should be on my 4-hour chart. I need you to help me recognize. So I do know exactly where to find them, where to put them, but I'm going to help you to find them. So I deliberately missed 2 support and resistance lines so you can help me to recognize those support and resistance lines in the market. So we would have already passed them, but I need you to be able to know where to put them. So let's go to our line chart. Let's go to our line chart. Okay. So our line chart here will help you to decide now where your support and resistance levels should be. Now I've put it on line chart for you to recognize it. Okay, so I want you to be able to show me in terms of the price around here where I should put those support and resistance lines. So for those who are very new, what I'm actually getting at, we draw lines where we get some kind of resistance or rejection, if you want to call it that. And it's one line, it's the same line that I'm talking about, support and resistance. It is the same line, but what you find is that you can get resistance at that point on the same line as well as support. So if you see where my hand is, or the hand that's on the computer, on the chart, you can see that I came to this level and I got some resistance and price moved back to my support and resistance line that was below. You can see resistance there. And you saw price move back to the next support and resistance. Then you can see where I moved up and I broke that support and resistance, and I came right back to this line, which was previously my line of resistance, and now you can see it became my line of support. So that's why we call it support and resistance, because it acts as both a support and a resistance. So now that you can see that, let me know where you can see the next support and resistance line. So clearly it's in here somewhere. Where do you think I should put it? Go ahead and let me know if you agree. So this is where I have the line now. Do you agree that that's where I should put it? Or here? What do you think? What do you think? Do you think it's okay? Put a fire emoji if you think it's okay, and I will put my line in there. Put a fire emoji if you think that is okay. I'm actually finding a support as well as a resistance. Okay. Are you happy with that one? Okay, I love that. So you quite like my support and resistance? I like it too, because as you can see, price moved from this support and resistance. That's where the hand is on the chart. So you can see it moved from here to this support and resistance here, and it was acting as a resistance right there. See, it was trying to break through, but it didn't, and it pushed back down before breaking through. So it was acting as a resistance right here. And then here, you can see price came back to this line and it acted right here as a support. So here we see where it was at a resistance. And as Miss Dyer would say, it is where the ceiling of the house is. So we came here, we bumped onto here, and price moved down. And now it acted as a support because price moved down, it hit the ceiling, it hit the floor, and price moved up. So you see the line I've just put in where it's acting as both a support as well as a resistance. And as you can see further down, it was acting here as a resistance. So pretty much that is the concept of support and resistance. Now I want to find another support and resistance. We need to find another support and resistance. Okay, so let's go. So let's put in that support and resistance. Now that you know what we're looking for, I am going to put that in. So this is where we're looking at 1.84, around 748, around there. Okay. And another one can be 1.84113. I think I'll put that in somewhere a bit further down. Actually, I can get a support and resistance right there as well. Okay, so we've got some support and resistance in, so I feel good about that. And it's time to move back to my candles. So you can see, let me make sure I open it for you to see. Can you see where now that the candles are on there, how beautiful it looks? So the candles are pretty much gliding between one support and resistance level to another. So this is how we trade. This is how we trade when we trade between the zones. So for those who trade zones, this is how we trade. We trade from one support and resistance level to another. And so if you are seeing a trade where a price is correcting itself, then you can see how far sometimes it will correct to. So you can see where price was correcting here. You see it move down to the next support and resistance and pull back. Came here again, pulled back. And then this one came to the next support and resistance before you saw price moving upwards. Okay, once again, this is how the concept works for support and resistance. Clearly, we're at this level. We are not ready to get in the trade unless we break that zone that I have put in for you to see. That zone tells you we were having a number of resistance or rejections. So we are going to wait for the candle, the body of the candle to break above there before we take this trade. So now that we've gone through and explained where we are in the market, because this is where we are right now. This is where we were, and this is where we are right now. So we need to break this level in order to get in for that buy opportunity. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to top down. It's time to top down. So here we go. What does top down mean to you? Drop it in the chat. What does top down mean to you? Drop it in the chat. What does top down mean to you? What time frame are we moving to? So we are on the 4-hour time frame. What time frame are we moving to? The 1 hour. That's what I mean by top down. We're moving down to the next time frame, which is the 1 hour time frame. What you can see is clearer. Right now, you can see very clear, crystal clear. Can you see how the candles glide between the support and resistance level? Can you see? Can you see that? You should be able to see that. And now you can see that we're at this level again. We must wait. What I can say on the 1 hour is that we're at that 80 marker, which tells us that we are overbought. So usually if we're overbought, the likelihood is price will want to correct itself. So if I went back to my 4 hour, you can see my stochastic is not overbought. On my 1 hour, my stochastic is overbought. So we are back in this zone. So clearly, if I'm overbought, the likelihood is that price will want to correct. And when price corrects itself, what can happen is that price can move to, sorry, I don't want to be measuring here. What did I click on? Okay, so I clicked on the wrong thing, clearly. So I need to be moving from where we are, and if price moves to the next support and resistance level, we're expecting for price to move to that support and resistance level. However, price could also move further down. So price could also move down to the next support and resistance level. Okay, so let me do that again. So you can see if you're understanding the concept of support and resistance, then you should be able to see how price moves. So it moves from one support and resistance to another. So this is how price can correct itself. And then if you're able to understand that concept that we are overbought on the 1 hour time frame, and price is likely to correct itself, and when price corrects itself, it moves from one support and resistance to another. Drop your 3 fire emojis in the chat, so I know that you understand what I'm saying. So you can see we're overbought on the 1 hour time frame. We have hit that 80 marker. The likelihood is price will correct itself, and you can see where price can correct to. Okay, so if you break a support and resistance level, the likelihood, and I'm talking the body of the candle, the likelihood is that you will move to the next support and resistance level. Okay, so I'm topping down. Once again, it's top down. So again, you can see our stochastic is not ready on the 15 minutes. You are now not surprised why we are not ready, because we are expecting price to correct. That you have confirmation on as well on the 15-minute time frame. You can see that we are overbought again on the 15-minute time frame. As you can see, that 80 marker tells you you're overbought, so you will expect price to move down to correct itself. And again, this is where we are in that zone, so we are expecting price to correct itself. So we know we are definitely not yet ready on the 15-minute time frame. So ladies and gentlemen, remember we need 3 indicators to be in agreement or in alignment on the 15-minute. Again, stochastic, we need to see the blue above the red. When we have corrected, once price corrects, we must see the blue above the red pointing up. we must see a green candle with a flat bottom and the PSAR at the bottom. And then we move to our time frame of entry, which is our 5-minute time frame. And what you are seeing is the correction will probably start to be clearer on your smaller time frame. So what you need to see again for that buy opportunity, we must see the blue line point above the red line pointing upwards, and we must see a green candle, preferably with a flat bottom. But again, we must wait for price to correct. The lower time frames make it so much easier for you to see the correction. So now clearly we have to wait for GBP AUD for that buy opportunity. Now it's time to wait and see how GBP AUD plays out. If you've been able to follow through on GBP AUD for that buy opportunity, go ahead and drop your 555s in the chat. And just let me quickly mention Euro JPY. Let me quickly mention Euro JPY. And the reason why I'm mentioning Euro JPY is we looked at Euro JPY yesterday. I'm sure most of us remembered that we looked at that trade yesterday, Euro JPY. And yes, after our trade yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who took the trade, oh my gosh, we took it around like 141 something. And you could see we broke our major psychological level there. We broke that support and resistance level, that major one, and price moved upwards. So for those who took the trade, yippee, you would have done fantastic. We're now at 143 at that support and resistance level, which we know to be a major psychological level. So I'm hoping that some of us did get the pips on Euro JPY that we looked at yesterday. I'm hoping that some of us did look at it. So if you did, well done. If you didn't, then next time round will be better. So just to highlight Euro JPY that we looked at yesterday. Now we are going to look at GBP JPY. So ladies and gentlemen, you see how fantastic trading view is? If you love this trading view, can you see it just stores our markups for us that we mark up on the chart? If you love trading view because you can see we do not have to keep remarking and remarking, just drop some fire emojis because I'm really loving the trading view myself. Okay, drop some fire emojis if you're enjoying the journey on the trading view chart. I'm going to look at another GBP pair because there was GBP news. Okay, so let's see. GBP, okay, 2 persons. How many of us are actually taking these trades and getting on the chart? Because I've only seen, how many persons? Okay, I take it that you're all getting ready for work, so you've not had a chance to put it in the chat. So here we are, GBP JPY. Pay setters, which time frame am I going to be moving on to? I am now on the 1 hour for GBP JPY. To analyze GBP JPY, where do I need to be for my analysis to start? Drop it in the chat, pay setters. Drop it in the chat. 15-minute time frame. So I will follow your instruction, and I'm on the 15-minute time frame. Here I am. I must see 3 indicators in alignment. What am I seeing? Yes, my stochastic is my leading indicator, and I need to see my blue line push above my red line pointing upwards, a green candle with a flat bottom, and that's exactly what I'm seeing, and a PSAR at the bottom. So pretty much my 15 minutes look quite good. So I can move along. 15 minutes looking good. What do I do next? Help me, pay setters, make the next move. We love being on the chart, so help me make the next move. We want to see, yes, the 1 hour time frame is the time frame. So my 1 hour time frame shows that my blue is above the red, pointing upwards, and a green candle. So yes, I am aware that we are overbought on the 1 hour time frame, but we will look into that a little bit more on the 1 hour time frame. What I can say is that we have our 2 indicators ready on the 1 hour time frame, our time frame of confluence, but we are not yet ready to get into the trade because we need to now move to our 4 hour time frame, which is our time frame of authority, our head of the house. But yes, the 1 hour time frame, we're seeing what we want to see, but we're not ready to get into the trade as yet. So 4 hour it is head of the house. Okay, so we're seeing the head of the house at the moment right here. Stochastic shows blue above the red pointing upwards. And that's what it's supposed to be showing. Yes, I'm aware that we are overbought. And when we are overbought, we do expect some correction. So we are overbought. But what we can say is we're seeing a green candle. So we have 2 indicators in agreement on the 4 hour time frame. And that's what we need to see. 2 indicators in alignment. And of course, we're seeing where we have a flat bottom green candle. So clearly that looks good on our part. And we see where we have another confirmation of momentum there, which is our PSAR. So 4 hour, we see that we're looking good. But do we just jump into the trade? Let's see where we are in the market. So clearly, we've been coming here and we're seeing where we're getting some rejection. So this is where we would need to wait, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we would need to wait. So if you look to the left, always look to the left. Always look to the left. Okay? I would say this is not the time to jump into the trade. We must wait. Okay? We must wait because as you can see, 1, we are overbought. So if we're overbought, we do expect price to correct first before getting into a trade like this. So we need to see that correction first. And sometimes you see the corrections clearer on the smaller time frame. So again, we must wait for price to correct before we start to get excited. So the 4 hour time frame, once again, you are able to see that we are back in this area where we were getting rejections when you look to the left. So we need to wait. We need to break out of this zone, and the body of the candle needs to be breaking out of the zone, not the wick. Okay? Again, having support and resistance lines drawn up is what we recommend. Once you get onto your charts, go to your line chart, and once again, identify those resistance as well as support levels. Identify them, and that way you're able to draw your support and resistance levels in the market. So pretty much you can see right here, we have had a support right there. Let me bring it down a little bit for you. Okay, so it's neater. So right here, you can see support. So we hit the floor. So we saw support here. We saw resistance here. We hit the ceiling. Okay, we hit the floor support. We hit the ceiling resistance. We hit right here. We hit that ceiling as well. So once you understand the concept of support and resistance, you need to remember that same line should act as both a support as well as the resistance. So on the 4-hour, I'm showing you the importance of drawing up your support and resistance lines so you can see what levels you should be trading between. So price moves between these levels in the market. So we are now able to see right here that we are in that zone, still in that zone on the 1 hour, our time frame of confluence. So we are expecting again, as I said earlier, price needs to correct before we actually look to jump into this trade. We're overbought on the 1 hour. And again, sometimes you see it very clear on the smaller time frames when price corrects. Okay, so again, my stochastic here seems to have gone for a little walkie, but it's back. So I don't know where stochastic disappeared to, but it went for a walkie. But as you can see, I'm overbought as well on my 15 minutes. So I'm waiting for that price to correct. So I must see again, blue line above my red line pointing upwards. And I must have a green candle with a flat bottom, P-star at the bottom. This is the only time frame where it is a must that you have 3 indicators in alignment or in agreement. And of course, our 5 minutes, the last time frame that we check is the 5 minutes, our time frame of entry. Once again, we're in this zone. Again, you can see my 5 minutes is overbought. My leading indicator is overbought. We want to see price correct. So we expect to see price move down before it moves up. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wait for price to correct. And again, you would prefer a flat bottom green candle if you are new to learning this skill set. So again, this is what we're looking for. GBP, JPY, to see a continuation of the buy, but we must first of all see price correcting itself before jumping in. Do not forget, both GBP, AUD, and GBP, JPY, we would like to see that all time frames are agreeing before you get in. What do I mean? 4 hour must have 2 indicators in agreement or in alignment. The 1 hour must also have 2 indicators in agreement or in alignment. 15 minutes must have 3 indicators in agreement or in alignment. And the 5 minutes time frame for entry must have 2 indicators in agreement or in alignment. So all time frames must be in agreement before you get into the trade. So you can see my 5 minutes is getting the memo. It's really trying hard to keep going, but price is going to correct at some point, and we are waiting for price to correct before we get into the trade. Now we have come to the end of our session. Yes, I'm always excited to be on the charts, and we are at the end of this session. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have been able to follow through with the analysis that we've done on our last trade, which is GBP JPY, you've already commented on the previous trade, which is GBP AUD, then go ahead and put your 555s in the chat. Go ahead and put your 555 in the chat. What I can say before we close off, we do not have a call today at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we do not have any evening calls today. Today is Wednesday, Win-Win and Wealthy Wednesday. Tomorrow morning, however, at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time call. It will be done by Dr. Kirk Graham, and he is going to be covering more the intermediate level. So try to be on, see you on tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And ladies and gentlemen, do not forget that at the end of the day, we have our webinars. There was one yesterday evening at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please remember that you need to register for these webinars. Go to your website BYOBmovementworldwide.com. And yes, on that homepage, you can see how to register for our webinar sessions. Now, everyone can become an affiliate. So make sure that you sign up with BYOB to become an affiliate today. Do not forget, we have our summits. We have our summits coming up for the month of April. It's almost here. We are on what date? The 29th? Well, the 29th. So April 15th is our first summit, and that will be in Cleveland, Ohio, and also Jacksonville, and the next will be in Detroit. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you show up, get your tickets for those summits, wealth summits. And of course, we do not want to forget that if you haven't got the BYOB mobile app, go ahead and download it on your phones today. It will help you for your source of success, and you have access to a lot of the information that you require. So again, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you get familiarized with our website, and that way you will be on board to be enrolled. We're looking forward to seeing you enrolling, and we are going to be an excited bunch. So thank you so much for logging on today. We look forward to seeing you, and have a great win-win and wealthy Wednesday. God bless.